There we are, the national anthem being heard on VWFLradio.com here at Piranha Park. And we're just about ready to get underway for Wyndhamvale and Whitehorse. Peter Holden with you in commentary, about to be joined by Dan Hill here at Piranha Park, Coburg City Oval. And, well, the table says at this stage, Wyndhamvale, top of the table, undefeated. But all of that matters for absolute zero coming into today. Unfortunately, suburban footy folklore is littered with stories of those teams that have dominated the season, got to the big day, and then sides like the Whitehorse Colts, the Giant Killers, come from out of nowhere and spoil the party and walk away with the Premiership Cup. Today is the day that only matters, and Wyndhamvale, at least, have got off to a good start by winning the toss. Can you believe it? 4 Whitehorse captains and 2 Wyndhamvale captains. This has really taken the co-captains things overboard. Wyndhamvale have won the toss. They'll be kicking with the breeze, and they'll be going down towards the Harding Street end or the grandstand end of the ground. And joining me in commentary, a man who probably has a lot to say about a lot of co-captains, is Mr. Dan Hill.
That's a bit like the NFL, Pete. We had the coach of the defensive team, the offensive team, and every other team, and they were all in the centre of the ground and getting themselves together. They tossed the coin, and both sides going into huddles very, very close to each other. I think there's a bit of psychology about that one, Pete. As soon as they broke from the national anthem, they went straight into huddles about 10 or 15 metres away from each other, so each could be heard by the other. Yeah, bit of psychology coming into it early.
Wyndhamvale started it first, then Whitehorse responded. Yes. So it's like both sides are just saying, we're just bringing the game. We're bringing the game here.
You might be undefeated. We can look and act undefeated too.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Whitehorse will be going, we're the Giant Killers. We're taking 2 scalps. We're looking at you next. While Wyndhamvale are turning around going, we're undefeated. Who are you coming onto our patch?
Now, I know everyone bags bright colours, Pete, but when yellow is playing green, I know that's not very traditional, but yeah. The maroon socks for Whitehorse, it's a very, very good look with the yellow jumper, and all green with a touch of yellow for Wyndhamvale. 2 picturesque sides out there, and as you say, the Colts will be hunting the Falcons this afternoon.
Damasi will start in the ruck by the look of it for Wyndhamvale, along with Abby Tanner for the Whitehorse Colts. As we just about wait to get under play, all's in redness, an excellent crowd. So far today, around about 1,000 have already come through the gate overall for the day, and a good crowd sticking around for this Division 3 Grand Final, as heard on VWFLradio.com. To get us underway, here's Dan Hill.
So it will be Damasi to fly up in the ruck. And she won the tap. Went down for the Colts. They'll get the first clearance through Clow. She goes up towards half forward, dribbling ball inside the attacking zone now for the Colts. Fast hands, and having a flying shot at goal is Grace Dillon towards the top of the goal square. Harrington working overtime back there for Wyndhamvale, under the pump immediately. Ball 10 metres out from the Colts goal. Pack of players, a little scrimmage. Ball stayed in, then knocked out to the edge of the pack. A chance here for Nicole Elliott for the Falcons in the back pocket. Very close to the boundary line, umpire letting it go. And now we'll have a bounce. About 25 metres out from Whitehorse's attacking goal. They're in the right forward pocket, in attack early and looking to draw first blood.
Up they go in the air. Damasi wins out the tap and trying to lay on a bump there is O'Connell for the Whitehorse Colts. Couldn't quite get a kick off the ground there, and ball just popped up. Laying on a tackle is Kim Tran, and the umpire calls for a ball up. 25 metres out, Whitehorse goal. They're attacking the Bell Street end. That's the left of your radio dial, or of course, if you're watching the replay, you're going to the left of your computer screen. As trying to kick it along the ground there was Andrea Cameron, one of their star players for Wyndhamvale, and they've seen the ball go over the boundary line and out of bounds, 30 metres around from the Whitehorse goal.
So Munro to go against Damasi once again. This time the tap for Munro over the back. Good little flick. Ball to the top of the goal square. It's a 2-on-2 contest. A chance for the Colts, but it was just shut down there by Harrington, who got a hand on it. And then there were a few bustling their way through. It's 10 metres out from Whitehorse's attacking goal. The one wearing the helmet down there for the Falcons is Kim Tran. She came through and stopped what would have been a certain goal, and there'll be a bounce at the top of the square. The Colts still deep in attack. The ball's hit to the front of the pack. Tran came through. She was done. Now holding the ball. Incorrect disposal, says the umpire. And it will be going against Jodie Desra, who was so good in that first final. But obviously that week off on that occasion, Pete, just hadn't played the game last week and not as quick by hand. She was caught unawares, and the free kick goes to the Colts. And it will be Bridget O'Connell. She's 10 metres out, directly in front, left footer, on its way, wobbles it, It was very Tony Lockett a la breaking the record, perhaps worse. It dipped sharply, but she was only 10 or 15 metres out, and it was enough. So the first goal to the Colts. They sound the warning bells early for the Falcons. It is the Colts from Whitehorse. 1 straight 6, the Giant Killers, leading Wyndhamvale, who are yet to score and yet to have the ball in their front half.
Well, this is interesting. I reckon it's going the Colts' way early because simply they're blocking up the football, and this is what Wyndhamvale don't like. Wyndhamvale like a run and spread fast type of game. At the same time, this is what Whitehorse want. They want the first goal and put the seed of doubt in Wyndhamvale's mind from the word go.
So ball back in the centre of the ground, and Whitehorse again look to move forward. Although with no clear possession, they managed to get the ball onto their attacking side of centre, and just that momentum, the rugby momentum in these sorts of games where the pack is moving your way and it's moving forward. As the ball is tossed back up, and doing the ruck work on this occasion is Emma Slattery. She won the tap, but again the Colts, they're working defensively here through Grace Dillon. She couldn't come up with it. Now it's at half back for the Colts, but they still maintain possession. Desiree for the Falcons went in. She couldn't come up with it. Bustling her way through and doing quite well there was Alex Mills, now inside the attacking zone, but all the numbers back for the Colts. And it'll be Katie O'Hanlon on the last line. Can she keep it in? Does. Takes a bounce, right back pocket. Oh, bounced on end. Recovered in time. Cleared outside a defensive 50. Bouncing footy. In dispute at right half back for the Colts. They lead it by a goal. Wyndhamvale now with the numbers. Work it by hand. Maloney under the pump immediately. She's claimed. Big pack of players. Little handball comes out the back. Chance to build for Wyndhamvale. Run down immediately. Got the kick away. Umpire was happy with that and satisfied. Wave play on. Little hands out the back. That might have been, I think it was Andrea Cameron. Played very well in the first final. Was probably one of the better of field. Now a free kick will go the way of Wyndhamvale. And it will go to Kayla Slattery at half forward for the Falcons.
Kayla Slattery, she's around 55 metres out from goal, gets on the right boot, puts it in the hot spot and towards the corridor. Ball's bouncing after a come off hand. Are they going to try and elect to rush it through? I think they will. Taken through there by Morgan Kahn. And that will register as a minor score for Wyndhamvale. They're first on the board. They are 1 behind. Whitehorse 1 straight 6 here on VWFLradio.com. And the Division 3 Grand Final, as the kick out from full-back by Katie O'Hanlon puts it into space. Maybe the chance for Richardson to run onto. Richardson's got to turn out of trouble. Well. Going to hand pass to Clow. Clow puts it a long booming kick out towards the Russo direction, who sees the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. Well, call for a throw-in, almost settling out of side.
So ball to be tossed back in. Tanner in the ruck for the Colts. She won the tap. Big tap too, defensively. Numbers for the Colts at half back, but pushing it forward was Maloney for Wyndhamvale. Inside their attacking zone, but again, the numbers are with Whitehorse. O'Hanlon sitting a kick behind the play. She should get the free kick here and does. And she'll have it in the right back pocket, 25 from her defensive goal for the Colts. And she decides to stick wide and long and high with her kick, trying to juggle it around is Augustine. Would the umpire pay it? He does. 3 or 4 bites the cherry that took to pull it in. She's about 50 out from defensive goal, gets on the right, hugging close towards the boundary line. Just came off hands in the contest. It was Kiara Miles who saw the ball out of over the boundary line and had a bounce, and that's where we'll throw it in. 65 metres out. The umpire quick with the throw-ins today. Back into play. Went out the back door. Quickly on Mills. Try to get a hand pass out while under pressure. In goes Montgomery as well. Can't quite hatch it. Whitehorse fighting hard and scrapping for the ball. O'Connor was there. The umpire's pulled out a free kick. Falcons ball. So it'll be Andrea Cameron at left half forward. She has Jess Heath in board all on her own. Decides to go in that relative direction, but looking for Leah Olsen. She flew through and couldn't take the mark. Pack of players forms at left half forward, and the umpire will be more than happy to call for it. And I've been told it's Leah Olsen, she told me downstairs earlier. Let me know about it as well. Must have been listening to the first call of the final. Got that one a fraction wrong, as we do on occasion. Leah Olsen, she's in there again. Going in after it. Desiree also waiting at the back. Although Cameron, she gets the kick around the corner, but again, the Rock of Gibraltar at the back for the Colts. Katie O'Hanlon takes the mark. And goes long towards true centre half back, going through several hands. Gore was there as well, couldn't hang on to it. And they sent it back from once it came to Falcons, out towards the half forward flank on the grandstand side. Now the foot race is on. The numbers are favouring the Colts if they could work it out. But full credit there to Alicia Morgan,
She was well and truly under the pump, including Thompson coming after her, but she managed to knock the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds, knocking it away from the Colts and setting it up for a set play here for the Falcons as it comes back in quickly. Trying to slap it forward, Emma Slattery up against the boundary line. Jessica Heath tries to snap it towards the goal square. Oops. There's no one home. The idea was right, but unfortunately the plan didn't work. Whoa! O'Hanlon decides not to rush it, decides to kick it back into play. It could all turn pear-shaped with Montgomery, who kicks it round the corner in towards the pocket. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds in front of Kira Myers.
I was about to say that the Colts look very disciplined out there, Pete. They're a side that are made for grand finals. Haven't made any real errors. That was the first one on that occasion. Should have rushed to behind. Ball tossed back into play, busting her way through. I think that might have been Leah Olsen. And across the face, just the one behind. Probably really should have done a little better there. Kicked it across the face, had a little more time than perhaps she thought. And that moves Wyndhamvale to 3 behinds.
2 behinds.
2 behinds, 2 points. They trail the Whitehorse Colts, who have got 1 major on the board. They are 1 straight 6.
And here's the kick out from full back by O'Hanlon. It went through several hands, jumping across there. Maloney at the last second. Hurried little kick by the Colts towards the true centre back position. It's going to get turned over unless Grace Dillon can get her hands on the ball. And the umpire said,
good tackle.
Being dealt with off the ball there was Erin Smith. And Smith gets it quickly. And Smith gets it on the right boot, heading in the Gore direction. The ball just won't quite sit for her. Now she gets her hands on it. Gets the little hand pass away to Bliston Gawley, who kicks in towards the middle of the ground. Falcons send it back, though, with a quick hurry kick in towards the hot spot. Ball bobbling around. A chance to run on, a snap on goal for the Falcons, and they got there first. They have put that one down to Kayla Slattery, and Wyndhamvale take the lead 1-8, leading Whitehorse 1 straight 6 here on VWFLradio.com, the Cottons VWFL final series.
Yeah, that was a classic example, Pete, of again Whitehorse not going wide enough from their back half. They've kicked it into the corridor and taken the risk on 2 or 3 occasions, and on that specific occasion, they paid the full price, and the Slatterys are going to be lurking around half forward all afternoon, and also Jess Heath for the Wyndhamvale Falcons. Very, very dangerous, and you throw in Leah Olsen also, and they can really put the goals on quickly.
I think the safe bet is today for the Colts to be able to win. They've got to stick wide all day, because essentially the Falcons are going to own the corridor.
Absolutely, and that's their game plan. They take the risk and back the one-on-ones and own the corridor, and you really need to sort of counteract that and sort of just use anywhere just outside the square.
Little hurried hand pass in towards the centre half forward position. Now Gore's going to pick it up centre half back. Warland over the top of her, who we called Jess Cameron last week, so apologies to Michaela Warland, as the umpire gets the ball back and says, let's clear the way, and we'll throw it up in the air again. And clears the way. Here we go. Heath was running on by looking to receive it, but the ball went away from her, and Bliston Gawley got it instead. Bliston Gawley just put it in towards, well, almost between the centre circle and centre wing with a hurried kick, but it stayed inside the centre squares. Coming in there was Alex Mills to try and allay the tackle. Out the top was O'Connell. Hurry kick away here by the Falcons inside their forward 50. Saunders gets knocked over in the contest. Sitting up here for Kayla Slattery. Is she going for another? She has! Kayla Slattery on fire early. She's got 2. 2 and 2 minutes, and the Wyndhamvale Falcons get out to 2-2-14. Whitehorse 1 straight 6. What do we talk about? Central corridor.
Absolutely, and it was, I think, Megan Maloney out the back, or it might have been Andrea Cameron, the two blondies with the ponytail working tirelessly in the midfield. They do that week in, week out. There's so many occasions, it's very Jobe Watson-like. You think this isn't coming out, and then all of a sudden a Maloney or an Andrea Cameron emerge with the ball, and it's going forward for the Falcons, and that's 2 or 3 occasions in a row where they bomb the ball in long, and it creates headaches for the defence. So after a solid start from the Colts, they now find themselves trailing by 8 points. Ball back in the centre of the ground. Tanner won the tap. Went straight down to Augustin, who was claimed immediately, and the umpire will call for it, and we will have another bounce right next to the centre rings.
And throws the ball up in the air. Away we go again. Waiting for it this time is Cloud. Got the tap forward. Hurried little kick around the corner by Mills. Goes out to a foot race on the centre wing position. It's Whitehorse here with numbers if they can work it quickly. Smart little 1-2 courtesy of Tanner there. Teamed up with her teammate there with Carter. Got it back in board. It's back and forward, back and forward. This is footy we haven't seen in a while with a hand pass job as Tanner went long with her kick towards the half forward flank position. Coming over the top there is Mills to try and lay on the tackle and wrapped it up. But I tell you what, I've got to applaud Whitehorse on that little set piece of play there. We've been watching a lot of women's footy, including Premier Division, but we haven't seen handballing as clean as that.
Yeah, well, Abby Tanner, it wound up with the ruck woman, and she probably wasn't the one to finish the chain, but she wins the ruck tap here, right on cue, and the kick was smothered from Grace Dillon. Umpire waves play on. Maloney's in there once again. She'll be working tirelessly all afternoon, Megan Maloney. And early on, in terms of best on ground, neck and neck, Kayla Slattery has the 2 goals, and Megan Maloney certainly playing very well as it's slapped out by Kayla Slattery. The ball came to the back. In fact, it was Emma, her sister. Ball up towards half forward now for the Colts. Bouncing footy over the top now for Munro. Couldn't gather. Ball at centre half forward still for the Colts. 35 out from their attacking goal. And the umpire will call for a bounce. They trail by 8 points, but they're in attack. A chance to score.
Ball up in the air again. Just tap ball by Cloud and move it along the ground. Hurried little kick out of there. Wasn't too bad by Nixon. Put it in towards the space of Molly Dillon, who kicked it round the corner. Doesn't look too bad. Molly Dillon's got her first.
Yeah, terrific goal in the end. I mean, it was typical play. That one-on-one, 20 out, managed to create the isolation. Molly Dillon, she's got the big body, used it well, knocked her opponent off the footy, and then an easy snap around the corner. Very smooth and very clean. And I'll tell you what, if we've got Kayla Slattery at one end and Molly Dillon at the other, we could be in for a bit of a shootout if they're left one out. And
I tell you what, we've got an interesting game of football where the other games that we've seen in Division 5 and Division 4, it's all been one-sided early, favouring the scoring end, which is the Harding Street end. At this game of footy, it's even 2-2 to 2 straight, only a 2-point lead to Wyndhamvale.
Well, so far, you wouldn't know there was a breeze out there at all, Pete. It's been very free-flowing as working her way through was Camille Augustin. She couldn't come out with it, and the umpire says we'll have it again. Tossed up. And I think it might have been Cameron in there trying to do the ruck work. In fact, it was Emma Slattery. Won it down towards Cameron, who slapped it wide. Now she gathers. Goes on the right boot up towards half forward. A chance here for Kayla Slattery. Bouncing footy. Perilously close to the boundary line. Heath in front now. Tried to keep it in play, but couldn't do so. And it'll be a throw in. Wyndhamvale attacking. 30 around from their goal. They lead by 2 points. We've played around about 9.5 minutes in the first term of the Division 3 VWFL Grand Final.
Thanks to Cottons as the ball is brought back into play. Kayla Slattery front position. Sharkwell there by Grace Dillon, who kicked further up the line in the Gore direction. Just went over her head, couldn't control it. Richard Russo overran it. Gore waiting for it out the back. Got to work left, got to work right, and she is escorted over the boundary line by Bridget Russo laying on the tackle. So we're going to call for a ball in right in front of our commentary position here, Piranha Park, Coburg City Oval. Thrown back into play. And just slapping it down there, if you don't mind, is a Damazi. Going over the top there is Morgan Kahn, and it gets all locked up in there with Leah Olsen, and the umpire calls for another ball up.
You should have seen Damazi after the first final, Pete. The bruises on her legs. She copped a pummeling. She would have been very, very happy to get the week off. No doubt about that.
She got jumped into all day, and she's like, do I have to go through this again? Yes, in 2 weeks.
There's no leap at all. It's just stick the knee up and hope.
There's the ball up in the air again. Brought to ground this time.
More my style, Pete.
Well, yeah, exactly. The expert ruckman as Grace Dillon gets on the right. Kicks long up the line in front of the coach's benches. Turn him inside out. Matilda Dillon. It's got to go. Oh, she's been caught this time. And the umpire says, that's red hot. Caught by Brooke Alley. And the umpire will give it to the Wyndhamvale Falcons off half-back.
So the player who was claimed a little slow to her feet, Matilda Dillon, she's a little sore. Good old-fashioned where you go to load up the kick and you basically kick the ground or knee the ground and cork yourself very easily, or even kick your own foot. She'll be escorted from the field, but in the meantime, it's Andrea Cameron in midfield. Kicks up to Leah Olsen, who came up and marked it like Nick Rewalt, if you don't mind. She's 80 out. Beautiful kick of the footy too, inside the attacking zone. Having the sit and the drop was Kira Myers, couldn't take the mark. And now the coach, Kerry Saunders, she tracks it over and out of bounds. 15 around from Wyndhamvale's goal. We lead by 2 points. It's the Cottons VWFL Grand Final of Division 3. And what a fantastic Cottons VWFL Final series it has been so far.
And of course, we're back for Premier Division next week, as well as Divisions 1 and 2. And that was kicked away there by Kovarik and puts it in towards the contest, but being slapped alive by Catarino, who escapes the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. Best case scenario there for the Falcons.
And you've got to say, Pete, the opposite number for Catarino is Katie O'Hanlon. And we heard Katie O'Hanlon being the Rock of Gibraltar at the back early for the Colts. That'll be the same role for Kayla Catarino. Although on this occasion, she's choosing to come a little closer to the contest, but she's always that 6th player back.
Umpire resetting the throw in here, and that's what happens. Back into play. Good win out there by DeMasi. Cleared quickly by Maloney. Goes to the 2-on-2 here. Head's going to pop out the back near the goal square. She can get there, but bumped off the ball beautifully. Again, Katie O'Hanlon, expert work to get between her body and Heath on the ball.
So effectively, we have Caterino on O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon in the defensive goal square and Caterino 60 out.
Ball back in. Front policy there was Tanner. Slapped the ball to ground and headed for the safety of the boundary line. Heath appealing for deliberate. And once again, the umpire in true suburban sense saying, not until the final quarter. Don't worry about it.
Your conspiracy theory, Pete. You've been listening to me too much. Ball tossed back in. It was Kayla Slattery winning the tap. Ball pinballs around, bounced back into the pack. Aaron Smith had the footy. It's Aaron with 2 R's. Do I have to... Aaron Smith?
Well, I'm not quite sure. But 2 R's would mean you err on the side of caution.
Yeah, well, you sounded unsure. That was it was all part of it, Pete. You did that nicely, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Now, a free kick from the stoppage. I think it might be going to Andrea Cameron for a high tackle. It is. Just got the ball out in front. It was in dispute. Player from the Colts reaching for it, but Andrea Cameron first to it. The arm across the chops, and easy as you like for the umpire. Cameron comes in, starts at left. But geez, it just rode home on the breeze nicely. A goal to the Falcons. They led it by 8 points. 20 plays 12. We've hit red time, or roughly red time is what we call it, in the straight 20s. As soon as you hit the 15, that last 5 minutes in the VWFL lower divisions can be really tough, especially on these big grounds. And the next goal will be very, very crucial in this one as the Falcons lead it by 8 points.
So 20-12, 8 points the difference. Wyndhamvale leading here on the Cottons VWFL Final Series Division 3 Grand Final at Coburg City Oval. Ball back up in the air again. Tanner wins it and might have to try and chase up her own footy. She does. Kicks it off the ground. Lovely. Tries to move it in there in the space of Nixon, and she can run it at all. I reckon that was high. And the umpires agreed with me. He said, yep, her head nearly got removed as she was trying to get away. So Nixon now has the ball 50 metres out from home. Hesitant with her kick, decides to now go long towards the pocket. Was it work out well? Was it chopping up the arms against Cohen? It wasn't. It's still caught there in the forward pocket. Going in there to try and extract it is Bridget O'Connell, who already kicked one so far today. And the umpire said, no, there's bodies all over the shop here, including Brooke Alley of Wyndhamvale. So we'll call for a ball up and does it very quickly. Away they go again. Gore brought it to ground. Gore tries to clear it, couldn't do so. Still hovering around there. Elliott was lurking nearby. Here's the hurry kick away, but the umpire's blown the whistle. Off the ball free kick, going the way here of the Whitehorse Colts. And they're going to be having a shot on goal, I'd say from about 15 to 20 metres out. Well, not much of an angle as well.
That was a classic scenario, Peter. The ball was in the foreground for the umpire, but just in the background, about 3 or 4 metres behind the play, right in the umpire's line of sight, there was a jumper being hung on to, and she was happy to give the decision.
Gillian Johnson will come in, stabs at it, doesn't get the distance. Oh, is there a mark in the square? It is, but it's the Wyndhamvale's way, so that won't matter. No score out of that as the siren sounds for quarter time here in the Cottons VWFL Division 3 Grand Final.
I think it might have been Andrea Cameron back there, Pete, doing it at both ends.
We've got a ball game, 3-2-20, Wyndhamvale, Whitehorse 2 straight 12. But the interesting thing out of that was a good mark there taken by Cameron, because if that had gone through for a goal, that would have given the Colts just that nice little boost heading into the break.
As you saw though, Pete, the scoring end certainly in play, especially when you're having shots at goal. I know we see that a lot in footy these days, and especially at the bigger grounds where it can swirl a little bit. For the Falcons, she won the tap. Oh, in fact, it was won by the Colts, and it went out very, very wide. Going in was Desiree. She couldn't come up with it. Now the Colts looking to break into attack. Smashed inside. Now all on her own is Ebony Nixon if she can get the bounce. Couldn't on this occasion. She's still lurking at the back, although high tackle. It'll go the way of Molly Dillon.
Yeah, it was a smart move in the end, because what had happened was for Nixon, when she was trying to run onto, instead of taking possession, she was trying to slap it with her left hand into the path of Dixon, and it worked out in the end. Even though Dixon couldn't pick it up, she got the too high, and now the shot on goal.
And Brooke Alley, very unlucky. That was one of those classic scenarios where a player's bent over the ball and you come inside on and get them high. Poor kick at goal, although in front, taking a terrific mark and pulling up a little sore was Ebony Nixon. She's marked it 10 out, 45-degree angle. It was a wobbler off the boot. She was perched in front, and it always pays to be in front. Kick at goal is away to the left, and just the one behind. So a disappointing miss there for Ebony Nixon, but it takes Whitehorse to 2-1-13. They trail Wyndhamvale by 7 points. They are 3-2-20.
Here on VWFLradio.com, live coverage of the Division 3 Grand Final. Here's the kick in from full back, courtesy of Andrea Cameron, who goes long with the kick, trying to find Damasi. Came off her hands. Foot race out there. Hartman trying to pick it up. Going out there, Mills as well for the Falcons. Looking by Kovarik there for the Whitehorse Colts. She can't extract it. Pack's going to form, and the umpire has no other decision to make but to call for a ball up. 55 metres out from goal. Thrown up in the air. Going in there's Tanner, wins it out. Cameron just got a hack job kick there, going forward. Foot race between Kovarik there and Kayla Slattery. All got locked up. Close towards the boundary line. Mills got it away. Nearly stolen by Whitehorse. Slattery went in again. Just well came off her knee, surprisingly. Then it's Erin Smith of the Colts who got taken out of her hands. So it's a bit scrappy out there. And the umpire says it's now dribbled out and will call for a throw in between centre wing and half-forward flank for the Colts.
I think this sort of play suits Wyndhamvale because they do have the inside players of the likes of Cameron and Maloney, and right on cue, Cameron goes after it, lays the tackle on Cowan, and the ball goes back into a pack, and the umpire will call for it between wing and half forward for the Colts. Outer side of the ground, in front of the black CFMEU signs, when sometimes it is hard to see the players in the background as it gets a little darker in the afternoon down here at Coburg City Oval. Although today the sun is shining for grand final day. The weather gods have looked after us. As the ball comes out the front of the pack, a chance here for Bethany Rains, and she's run down holding the footy, and a free kick to Andrea Cameron at right half back.
And she's just looking for some options. She decides to kick it into the player on the mark. It's something I've been talking about all season. It nearly went out, courtesy of the player there in Grace Dillon, but she went back, Cameron, and got it again. Put it in towards the advantage of Mills to try and run onto. Got taken away from her. Colts have the ball, centre wing, just trying to dribble it forward. Got locked in there. Augustin went in there, locked it up, and the umpire called for a bounce. It's one of the things in women's footy, some of the players just getting too close to the players on the mark. If it's anything they've got to clean up on the skills all sides this next coming season, 2015, is improving that kick when you're behind the player on the mark.
So a holding on free kick after the player in possession threw the ball out, and she's got away with it, has Augustin. She'll get the free kick. She's on the outer wing, looking to come inboard. Up towards half forward, flying up at the back there was Laurel Gore. Almost had hands to it and took the mark. Umpire says push in the back. Free to the Colts. It'll go to Grace Dillon. She's been on the bottom of a few packs so far, Pete. She comes up with it on the right, inside the attacking zone. Poor kick out wide. And I think it might have been Brooke Alley out there who had the sit, but the ball managed to stay in play. Now it's in the left forward pocket for Whitehorse. They didn't kill it there, the Falcons. Should have done so. But they'll manage to force a ball up. 15 out, left forward pocket. Colts are in attack. They trail by 7 points. We've played 4 minutes second term.
Yep, Sellos was the one that was on top of that. As Tanner goes again, there's the hurry hack job kick out of the pack. Cameron runs onto it and moves
risky.
it forward. Oh,
very risky.
Richardson is there for the Colts. Harassing there is Montgomery for the Falcons. Ball gets popped out, and the Colts had to go backwards to come forwards, if that makes sense. But he really ran onto it, and
Cameron
all of a sudden, Cameron now just gets on the right, moving out towards the half-back flank position. Here comes Heath in the foot race. Heath's going to be probably first to it. No, the ball did a little jackknife job. Bliston Gorley is over the top of it. Got the hand pass looking for Gore. Gore gets bumped over the boundary line, courtesy of Kira Miles. And the umpire says we're going to throw it in front of our broadcast position here on VWFL Radio, where it's a 7-point lead to Wyndhamvale.
So Tanner opposed to Damasi, but the ball clears that pack, and Rebecca Montgomery just slapped it inboard. Now a chance here for Sarah Clow. She's claimed and dumped. Might have been pushed in the back also. Umpire wasn't interested. We'll have a bounce right on the centre wing, right in front of our VFL radio commentary position, and the umpire very quick to toss it back up. Tanner, big tap, but to no real advantage. Ball goes back in, and it's shoveled out by Desiree, but not really clear from the pack. She goes in again. Cameron with her head over it. Bit of tunnel ball work, working defensively. Now Maloney goes in. The two of them working overtime. Working hard, Alex Mills, although she's knocked off the flight of the footy. Ball dribbling towards the line and kicked around the corner from Grace Dillon. Stayed in play. Half forward for the Colts. Might have been in the back, Maloney. It's tough. It's rough in there. Busting her way through was Munro. Holden wants to throw. Umpire says not interested. And taking the mark at half forward is Ebony Nixon. Too far out to score. Down in front of us is Grace Dillon. Back to her feet very slowly. On the left, loads it up. Geez, if she had kicked a goal like that before, she's kicked it from 50, bouncing footy. Unbelievable. She has a crack from 45, strikes it beautifully, and before she didn't make the distance from 20. It's an amazing game, the old footy. And that is just the one behind. Could have been anything. Moves it back to a straight kick, the difference. And that's what the Falcons maintain the lead by. And
kicking it out there and managing to take the mark, there's Kayla Slattery.
She's had to come a long way up, Pete.
Yep, 2-2-14 Whitehorse, 3-2-20 Wyndhamvale. The kick long out towards the half-back flank position. Contest there between Ali and Gore. And the ball went over the boundary line and out of bounds, coming off hands.
When Kayla Slattery is marking the ball in your back pocket, and she's kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, it tells you a little bit about the breeze, and it also tells you about the pressure that the Falcons are under here.
Tanner, sharked by Ali, who kicks it out towards centre wing. Ball's just being slapped forward. Heath goes in there while coming over the top was April Richardson. Falcons managed to work it, but trying to get on the end of it there as O'Hanlon has come a long way out from home. She's trying to hold it up desperately. Leah Olsen trying to strip her of the football. Ball on the ground, goes in to pick it up again, O'Hanlon. And I tell you what, it's bodies all over the joint, trying to force it forward here, blistering Gawley. And the umpire says, you are G-O-N-E gone, Wyndhamvale ball. And watch the buddies all run down.
And off they go. So taking a bounce and running around the outer side is Jodie Desiree. There was no one on the mark. She bombed it inside the attacking zone. Couldn't take the mark. Kayla Slattery. Ball falls to the back. The Colts have the numbers. Good smother in there from Leah Olsen. Is there anything she can't do? Shoveled out the back. Andrea Cameron snapped on the right. Pushed as she kicked. Umpire says downfield free kick. And it will go to Heath, I believe. Was she the closest? No.
To Kira Myers.
So Kira Myers was deemed the closest by the umpire. It was really a toss-up there, Pete. They were both 5 metres away, and Kira Myers will have the downfield free kick. Again, Andrea Cameron causing headaches. And that free kick is 20 out, directly in front, but kicking into a breeze. Myers for the Wyndhamvale Falcons. Very close to the player on the mark, but gets enough on it and does enough. And she's pretty wrapped with that. Raises the hands over the head, gives herself a round of applause. And the Falcons move out to 4-2-26. They lead the Whitehorse Colts 2-2-14 midway through the second term during the Cottons VWFL Division 3 Grand Final. Peter Holden.
Well, what a contest that we've got. Most of the play there in the second term had been in the forward half for the Colts, but the one time that Wyndhamvale do get it down there, they scored. And it's interesting because the coach, Michael Dillon, who we interviewed a couple of weeks ago from Whitehorse, acknowledged that he didn't have the greatest defensive back line going around, but he said he had an awesome midfield, and unfortunately it looks like one in the square too many. Let's give it away to Gosso, and Gosso moved it forward quickly on there to Elliott, who popped it in towards the forward line. Coming in there is Heath to try and wrap it up, and the umpire calls for a bounce at true centre half forward. So 45 metres out from goal. They're going to reset, and we'll watch them go again. Tanner goes in there, great leap, managed to put it towards the advantage there of Richardson. Couldn't quite bend over. Now she's got it. Tries to get a little hurried hand pass while under pressure. And Miss Slattery was coming at her. And the umpire blows the whistle and calls again for yet another ball up.
She's Tanner, Pete. She's got the skills, but she's being forced to do too much of the secondary clearance work because the Colts, they just can't work it clear.
And wrapped up on that occasion is Augustin. And the umpire is going to call for it back. And we'll throw it up again. Still at half forward for Wyndhamvale. Tanner's been winning the ruck contest, but just hasn't been able to put it to advantage to anyone. Now they do through a courtesy of a free kick to Sarah Clow, who's being held without it. Put it out towards the wing, through the hands there of Munro, who couldn't get onto it. Cohen's coming out towards it. Foot race in there. Caterino as well, putting on the pressure. Close towards the boundary line. Will it go out? Harassing their Mills now. It does go out. And the umpire says, let's throw it in. Centre wing on the outer side of the ground. If you've just joined us, we're partway through the second term here on VWFL Radio, the Division 3 Grand Final. Wyndhamvale 4-2-26, Whitehorse 2-2-14.
So the ball's tossed back in. It's slapped forward on this occasion by Damazi. And then the umpire says free kick out the back of the pack. It'll go the way of the Falcons, who are working their way forward slowly. As I think it might have been Alicia Morgan with the kick up towards half forward. Pack forms. No numbers back for Whitehorse behind this pack, which is at half forward for the Falcons. if they can work it clear, because O'Hanlon's been sucked towards the ball. Cameron lays the tackle, and the umpire says, I'll have it. Bounce it half forward for the Falcons, who lead this one by 12 points in the grand final. We have Division 3 in the Cottons Finals series on VWFL Radio. The Colts work it forward, and a good grab taken by Amy Louise Munro, and she takes off. Should have taken a bounce, decided to kick quickly on the left, inside the attacking 50. Beautiful pass. Champagne football, Ebony Nixon takes the mark. And on her last kick, Pete, this should be a sausage roll from 35 out, 45-degree angle.
There's never a certainty in football.
She comes in, strikes it well. If it rides on the breeze and gets up, it's there. Beautiful kick. I don't know where that's been. And she kicks a goal. Makes an absolute champion of myself, Pete, which is always the right way to go. Been back in winners yesterday and today, it would seem. And a goal to the Colts. They move it back to 6 points. This has been an absolutely sensational contest so far in the Division 3 Grand Final. It is the Falcons 4-2-26. They lead Whitehorse 3-2-20. The Colts, Pete, from 4th all the way to the Grand Final, and in this, up to their eyeballs.
Ooh, could it happen? Could the Giant Killers claim the biggest scalp of all, the undefeated Wyndhamvale Falcons as we speak? Harrington coming back on the ground to go into defence. Ball is up in the middle, and the Colts are going to try and clear it away here with a hurried little kick. There was Cohen, put it towards the half-forward line. There's Nixon again, got mown down there by Maloney. Went over the top of her, trying to get a hand pass. Harrington tries to work her way in there. Saunders gets a little hand pass out. Running onto it, though, is Richardson. Richardson got into trouble, slapped along the ground, and then there was Russo who tried to get it out. Hurried hand pass, trying to get in there, Maloney.
Oh.
Quick kick cleared by the Colts. One bounce, and away to the left.
Kicked that 50, and with no dramas either.
That was an extraordinary kick, but makes it interesting. 5 points the difference. Whitehorse 3-3-21. Wyndhamvale 4-2-26. It's a ripping game.
Absolutely sensational game. Nicole Elliott for the Falcons. She's at fullback, and a poor kick in. Bustling her way onto it was Abby Tanner. Had no left foot, so had to go with the right foot, which was her wrong foot on that occasion, because she was going for the banana.
Harrington keeps telling me that the reason why she doesn't get kicks is she's a stopper, and they've moved her straight to Nixon.
Yeah, that was the plan, and she looks a little sore too, Harrington. Perhaps the ankle playing up a fraction, but straight on to Nixon, and Nixon hasn't got near it since. Only in the last 2 or 3 minutes, though, as the ball's in the left forward pocket here for the Colts, very close to the line. Umpire will call for either a throw-up or a throw-in. It will be a throw-up, which generally tends to favour the defensive team. As it's tossed up, Emma Slattery's in there, very close to the line. Umpire called for it quickly, thought it might have been a free kick. But still the Colts, they're deep in attack. They trail by 5 points. We've entered red time, second term.
Tanner wins it. Taken there by Matilda Dillon. Knocked out of her hands. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. We'll have another throw-in right next to that point post.
And we've talked about this, Pete, in the first quarter. The last 5 minutes of each term in these straight 20s, you've really got to push and work. And the Falcons are under the pump here.
And seeing it near the boundary line there is Caterino, who sees it out. And we'll have another throw-in on the Tudor block side of the ground in the forward pocket. And the Colts going to the scoring end, which is, of course, the Harding Street end here at Coburg City Oval. Back into play. Laying on the tackle there was Cohen. Wrapped it all up nicely. Chain of hand passes. Maybe a chance here to come out through Caterino for the Falcons.
Oops.
Oh, it's a dangerous kick. It's intercepted. A shot on goal from 30 metres out directly in front is floating across the face of the right-hand side. The shot on goal courtesy of Grace Dillon sees a minor score added. And they move along now to 3-4-22 Whitehorse. They trail by 4 points. Wyndhamvale 4-2-26.
Tell you what, Pete, 70 out, boundary line is going to come into this game big time. Oh, interesting kick out, restart from Nicole Elliott, because that's your safety. From here, the Falcons, they're 40 out from the defensive goal. They need to get it far enough out of danger. Beautiful smother in the end. Maloney came through, she got one high, and this will be their chance to clear it away. The Falcons working overtime. They lead by 4 points. Gee whiz, they've been made to work for it.
Gets on the right. Goes out towards the far side of the ground. The breeze took it a big. Great little mark taken out there. I think that might have been by Ali. Brooke Ali now going further up the line. Goes towards the boundary line. We'll head see it over. She does. And we'll have yet another throw in.
That's a huge win for the Falcons to get it up to the wing and just get it out of play.
They were having problems like that against Port Colts in the major semi-final, and that's when they had to throw Saunders to do the kick out. And Saunders kicked it to herself, ran 20 metres, and then managed to clear the pack by going 50 metres further up the line. as the ball is back in. The umpire's paid out a free kick going the way here of the Falcons, and it's going to end up with Alex Mills. She's defensive side of centre wing, outer side of the ground here at Piranha Park. Decides to kick it long up the line, came off hands, going to put her head over the ball there. Sarah Clow turns around and sends it up the line. Grace Dillon comes out to meet it. Munro lurking nearby as well. Falcons with numbers, but Cohen lays a brilliant tackle in there. Watching on is Jessica Heath. The umpire's pulled out a free kick. Said claim too high there, and the Colts will have a chance 65 metres out.
So it looks like Wren's down there with the free kick. Got a high one from Andrea Cameron. She just dumps it in long. Bouncing footy clears the pack. 25 out from the Colts goal, left forward pocket. Slapped across the line in front of Lindy Cohen. There'll be a throw in. 25 around from the Colts attacking goal, left forward pocket. A chance for them to score again. They've looked good from the throw-ins. Deep in attack. It's a short throw-in on this occasion, one to the front. A chance here for Amy Louise Munro over the top of it. Clearing kick away. Andrea Cameron with courage came through. Bursting her way through was Leah Olsen for the Falcons. She smashed it around the corner outside her defensive 50. But the numbers are all with Whitehorse. Dropped the mark they should have taken. Now Leah Olsen comes through to butter up her good work. Bounced off a couple, but again, the numbers are all with Whitehorse. Should have been a Shepherd laid there. They had 6 or 7 around it. Instead, now they're right under the pump. It'll be a push in the back. Indiscriminate free kick in the end will go against Bridget Russo. And it'll be a free kick to the Colts on centre wing.
Tanner with the ball gets on the left, long and high towards centre half forward. Nixon waiting at the back, got knocked out of her hands over the top of it. Kira Myers. And I'll tell you what, there's no one inside the forward half for Wyndhamvale at all. So Saunders is going to go to absolutely nobody. And Whitehorse are going to have the numbers back here. They pick it up here. O'Hanlon goes for one bounce, running away from Saunders, lost it. O'Hanlon still going, had to back under pressure. Does so with a hand pass to her teammate there in Richardson, who goes for the long kick towards the contest. Body's crash came off hands, courtesy there of Elliott. Are they going to kick it on the ground? The Falcons, they don't. Going in to pick it up is Richardson. Richardson went by hand to Leo. To Lefo. Lefo went towards the forward line, picked off there easily. I think that might be Morgan who's kicked it in towards the centre square area. Coming out to meet it there. Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. And a hurried little kick out of the contest there by Kayla Slater. He puts it in towards the middle of the ground. Oh, a little nudge there. Yes, at the umpire. Kira Myers is the one that ends up the resulting free kick in the middle of the ground.
So Myers, an interesting free kick. Dubious, some might say.
It was there. It was there.
It was there. Switch wide to Saunders, who looked to settle, although she had a few running for her. So she decided against it and kicked it up towards Andrea Cameron. At the base was Caterino. She got the handball away, but the numbers are with Whitehorse. Augustin, backside of the square, poor kick. It came from Abby Tanner and went straight to Saunders, who centred it up over the back of the pack, bouncing footy, slapped away by Erin Smith. She's now gone back onto it, got a little handball away, although the players were looking to Shepherd rather than go after the footy. Alex Mills, she found herself with it, kicked it inside, attacking 50. Ball over the back of the pack, bouncing footy. Leah Olsen, can she gather? Does. Can she snap? Does. Well, she had Heath at the top of the goal square on her own. And just a minor score. So Wyndhamvale just squandering an opportune moment there. 4-3-27 against the run of play to get a goal. Whitehorse 3-4-22, closing stages of the second term.
On VWFLradio.com as we wait for O'Hanlon to bring the ball back into play. And she's just looking for some options. She decides to stick it out wide. Whoop, just had it on the fingertips there. Bridget O'Connell lost it and went over the boundary line and out of bounds for a throw in 50 metres out from home. Nearing half-time, 5-point lead to the Falcons. They've been undefeated throughout the season, but they're up against the Giant Killers and Whitehorse Colts, who've had 2 close semi-finals already, and you've got to feel in they're the experts in a situation like this. Heading for Saunders, drop the football. Hurry kick away there by the Colts, trying to go towards true centre half back and come down the corridor, which is not their territory. It's mainly Wyndhamvale's territory, and trying to kick it off the ground was Montgomery. The siren sounds, and that is half-time, folks. We've got a ball game.
Geez, Pete, there's a few out there that are tired. They had to work very, very hard in tight, both sides, during that quarter. And as we saw, it's very, very tight in and around the contest. Also tight on the scoreboard. And this is absolutely anyone's game at the half.
You honestly don't know which way it's going to go, because there's 2 arguments you could mount. You could mount an argument for Wyndhamvale, who are undefeated, and say they've got the superior fitness, which runs over the topper sides in final quarters.
So they've got to rely on that discipline to carry them through and possibly get them a premiership.
We get underway for the third term, and Tanner again won the tap out. Nearly put it down to Rover's throat, but was besieged upon there. And the umpire calls for a ball up. I think it was Brooke Ellie in the middle to wrap things up. I can see Mills in there as well for the Falcons. 5-point lead to Wyndhamvale. They've been undefeated all year. Will they hang on for a perfect season, or will it all fall apart at the most crucial moment? There's Gore trying to get a little hand pass out while under pressure. Try to set up the teammate Jen Thompson, who got knocked over. They're burrowing in there, the Falcons, with a hurried little kick away, courtesy of Desiree, who moved in towards the forward line. Here comes Heath. She's quick as a whippet. Over around the football. Went out the back door. Saunders is lurking near as well. Tries to lay on the tackle. Rips the player away from the football. You can see the stretch of the jumper. The umpire's blown the whistle and said holding because she was near the ball but didn't have possession, and therefore it'll be a Colts ball deep in defence.
Effectively a sling tackle in the end is what was awarded by the umpire, although there was no slinging. It was just a long stretch of the jumper. Turnover, poor kick. Kira Myers, she marks on her knees. She's 45 to 50 from home, goes on the right inside the attacking zone. Olsen leapt up. Could have got one high. Umpire wave play on. Said it was in the shoulder. Very line ball decision there. Now should be a free kick against Olsen, but the umpire again happy to wave play on. And a few decisions being missed there, but all's fair in love and war. Throw in, left forward pocket, and the Falcons are in attack.
That's what you love about grand finals. Throw away the whistle. The Slattery goes
no
to
blood,
front
no
position.
free.
Exactly. Saunders is over the top of it. Colts get a hurried kick. Oh, it's intercepted.
Oh,
and they play on. Maybe she should have gone back and had a shot, and it bounces once across the face. The hurried shot on goal there, I think, may have been by Russell, and that will be a minus score. 4 goals for 28. They leap by an even goal. Whitehorse 3-4-22. Could it be like that Division 1 major semi-final? Could we be looking at golden point time?
Oh, geez, don't go into that zone too early, Pete. The hearts will be pumping. Oh, poor clearance, poor kick out came from Katie O'Hanlon, and taking the mark was Kayla Slattery. She goes to the hot spot. Bit of body work at the back from Morgan Kahn, running onto it and snapping around the corner was Jodie Desiree, who's been in everything.
You call about justice of the football. I thought there was a little scoop throw there by Saunders, therefore the ball knows justice.
No, flick pass.
Flick pass.
So just the minor score. Wyndhamvale stretch it out to a 7-point lead.
Here's the kick in from full back by O'Hanlon towards the contest. It bowled over a few, trying to keep it alive there. Grace Dillon locked in there. Hashing it out there was Augustin. Here's the hurry kick off the ground here in the direction of Saunders, who's harassing her opponent. It's close towards the boundary line. Going to have to bend over and pick it up. Grace Dillon does so. Oh, that means Gore got the hand pass over the top. All wrapped up there. Nice little tackle laid on. Saunders goes in again over the top of it. Finding in hard is Sarah Clow. Clow's on the bottom of the deck, so is Saunders, and the umpire calls for the ball up. 55 metres out from the Wyndhamvale goal. They're attacking the Hardin Street end. They are at the scoring end this term. Through the hands there of Desiree, who couldn't quite pick it up. Going in there as Russo. Picks it up, gets the kick away before she was claimed. In towards the forward line. Oh, Olsen and Slattery just went into each other. Gore got the hand pass away. Trying to go in there was Erin Smith. Going in there. She got knocked over. Rolling over as well, Montgomery. And the umpire calls for a ball up. That's happened twice so far on the forward line. No real talk between Slattery and Olsen have been going at the ball at the same time.
Talk about two worlds collide. Two big units with plenty of power and pace running into each other there. And luckily they're probably at about the same power level because they bounce off each other evenly. But gee, it was Olsen going back to the flight with plenty of courage. There's a bounce at half forward for the Falcons. Tanner won the tap again towards the boundary line. Bustling her way through was Sarah Clow. Might have got one high. Umpire said nothing doing. We'll have another bounce.
Right in the forward line. 40 metres out from the Wyndhamvale goal. They lead by 7 points in the Division 3 Grand Final third term. Overhead. Hugging close towards the boundary line. Oh, just taken out of the hands there of Andrea Cameron. Smart footy there by Grace Dillon. And that means we'll have a throw in 45 metres around. Good crowd in here. Piranha Park, Coburg City Oval. Back into play. Front posse there was with Emma Slattery. Knocked it to ground. Over the head of it was Mills. Couldn't extract it. Dillon worked in there for the Colts. And the umpire once again is calling for a ball up.
Yeah, you can just see at the corner of the pack here, Pete, Andrea Cameron and Megan Maloney. They are just poised to pounce and get a big clearance here for the Falcons. But coming out the back is Sarah Clow. Under the pump, Grace Dillon had it, lost it, claimed it back, then got smacked in the head, and the umpire waved play on. It was just behind play. Saunders went in. She whacked someone in the head too. Umpire wasn't interested. And now the umpire says, calm down, girls. I'll bounce at 55 out from Wyndhamvale's attacking goal. It's tough. It's willing. It's grand final footy. Beautiful tap. One down by Tanner. Straight to Grace Dillon. Now Clow on the left. Around the corner. Up towards the wing. Bouncing footy. Chance here for Munro. Got on the left. Smashed it forward. Harrington labours back after it. Tries to slap it away. She's outnumbered 1-on-2. Did well to hold it up. Coming in to help out might have been Olsen. In fact, it was Russo, and the free kick goes against the Falcons. Now going up towards half forward, long kick from Richardson, going back with the flight and not looking at the footy and giving away the free kick. I think might have been Andrea Cameron down there, and it'll go the way of Amy Louise Munro at left half forward.
55 metres out from home. Her side down by 7 points. Third term of this Division 3 grand final. Gets on the left, got close to the player on the mark, went for distance. Nixon waiting at the back. Harrington got a little hand in there. Ball's at the bottom of the pack. Or trying to get a hurried little hand pass out. Rushing onto it and trying to dribble through. Now getting across to Nixon, courtesy of Clow. Nixon gets it. And she gets her second. And it's a 1 point ball game. 4-4-28 Whitehorse. Wyndhamvale 4-5-29. The Colts are exactly where they want to be, within striking range.
Yeah, well, one against the flow, Pete. I mean, the ball was basically in Wyndhamvale's half for a good 3, 4, 5 minutes, and it just took a break from the Colts. It was good work from Clow, and it was the smart ruck work from Tanner at half back. She knocked it straight down the throat of Grace Dillon, who got it to Sarah Clow, notably a left footer. They work the ball up to the wing and they get the goal.
The ball back in the middle again as the Falcons try to win the centre clearance. The umpire says pay for not with the football, which I thought she did, so it's against Augustin, and there's the hurry kick there. Russo going long for distance. Slattery, 1-2 bites, couldn't pull it in though. Saunders goes in there, meeting the sandwich. Thompson there as well, wrapping up as Montgomery, and the umpire calls for a ball up. 45 metres out from the Falcons' goal. They lead by a solitary point in the third term.
So ball tossed back up, and good work from Emma Slattery. Used the body on that occasion. Desiree out of the pack, up towards Heath. On the last line, the Rock of Gibraltar, Katie O'Hanlon. She races into the back pocket, sees nothing further afield, decides, well, the boundary's a chance, kicks it towards right half back. The ball pitched on its point and bounced back into play. Heath went after it, and in the end, it'll be bustled over 35 around from Wyndhamvale's attacking goal.
I tell you what, if Whitehorse win today, give the medal to O'Hanlon. Give her the medal.
She's at about 25. She is the Rock of Gibraltar, the goalkeeper, playing across the last line. Heath is in there for the Falcons. Now she sits on top of it. Umpire circling. And then she says, I'll have it, and we'll have a bounce. 35 out from Wyndhamvale's attacking goal. Left half forward. They lead by 1 solitary point.
And trying to clear it away there is Grace Dillon. Got a little hurried hand pass. All wrapping it up there is Megan Maloney. Maloney, as the umpire asks the ball back and throws it up in the air again. And once again we go. Tanner beaten out in that contest. Hurried little hand pass there. Might have to go back and get her own footy. On the bottom of the deck is Augustin. Trying to move it forward. The Falcons lurking nearby is Leah Olsen. They can't get the ball out to her. And the umpire calls for yet again another ball up. 25 metres out from the Wyndhamvale goal. They're using the scoring end, but they've been outscored so far this term, and they hold that one solitary point lead as Grace Dillon has it near the boundary line, receiving it from Clow and sees it over. 35 metres out from goal. You'd have to say for the Falcons, things are getting a little nervous.
They are certainly getting shaky. You're listening to VWFLradio.com. Dan Hill and Peter Holden in commentary this afternoon. It's the Divi 3 Grand Final. It's been an absolute ball burster. It's Wyndhamvale by a point. And they're working tirelessly here at half forward. And the umpire says, I'm happy to bounce it right next to the boundary line, 2 or 3 metres in at left half forward. The Falcons are in attack. It's Tanner and Slattery. Tanner the tap. Won it inboard. Little handball over the top. And a snap around the corner came from Alex Mills inside the attacking zone. Saunders the body work. Umpire wave play on, said it was touched. Crowd not happy. Saunders not happy at all, but accepting of the umpire's decision in the end, and tosses it straight back to the umpire, knowing full well that it'll be thrown up quickly and a chance for her side to attack. Out the front of the pack was Mills towards Heath. Couldn't take the mark. It was slapped away by Gore. Now Saunders had it, got it back towards Mills. She was dumped unceremoniously, and the umpire waving play on, said it was fair enough. You had possession of the football, and it'll be a bounce 30 out directly in front for the Falcons. Plenty around this one. The umpire tosses it on high. Tanner the ruck work. Emma Slattery the body work. Coming through now is Andrea Cameron. She gets the handball out the back and a little snap around the corner, but Gore is back for the Colts, and she marks on the last line, 15 out from her own goal.
And decides to go with the right boot kick. It's a long, lovely kick. It's close towards the boundary line. Munro came out afterwards. Leah Olsen is mooned into the ground. And it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. The umpire says, we will call for a ball in. 40 metres out. It is tighter than Warwick Kappa's shorts here at Piranha Park, Coburg City Oval. Ball is thrown back in the play, and going there, Carlos Suttery there, nearly knocked on the noggin there of Clow, who couldn't quite pick it up. Umpire says holding. It's going the way of the Colts. They get the free kick to relieve the pressure, and that's what they're going to do quickly on the left boot, heading out towards the half-back flank. Foot race on here. Can she claim it, Munro? Get the little hand pass back to Gore. Gore gets one. Oh, it's intercepted though. Kicking it back from whence it came to Marzi in towards the forward line. Heath went the punch from behind and saw the ball go over the boundary line and out of bounds away from Khan. What a ball game we've got here at the moment. It's the third quarter. Wyndhamvale going to the attacking end. They're under pressure. They lead by 1 point.
So ball tossed back in. It's a short throwing. Tanner won the tap to the front. Mills had it, lost it. Cameron came in for the Falcons. She had it and handballed it back into the ruck. Little handball came from Augustin, who then tried to lay a Shepherd. She could only get it back to Tanner, and Tanner was all tied up, and the umpire will come in and separate things again. It's tossed up. Tanner the tap against Damazi on this occasion. Could have been a push in the back there to Berryman. Umpire waved play on. Russo went in, and the umpire said, I'll have it again. 50 out. Wyndhamvale in attack. We're 10 metres in from the boundary line at right half forward.
Ball goes up in the air. Good little punch forward by Damazi. Gains about 15 metres. And then the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. That's we'll have it thrown in front of the dugout just near where the races are here at Coburg City Oval. The umpire just arches her back, gives it an old heave back into play from behind Damazi. Just went through the hands there of Montgomery, couldn't pick it up. Umpire says holding the ball, being pinned with it there was Munro.
I don't know about that, because it was technically a drop kick.
Well,
technically it was. Even though the ball hit the ground after she was tackled, she was in the motion of kicking it, and it was a clean kick that went 30 metres. It was a drop kick though.
Andrea Cameron will be lining up for goal. 45-degree angle, kicking from 40 metres out. Crucial kick on goal. Gets on the right, going to fall short, you'd think, in the goal square. Oh, went at the back and it went on its point, and it stayed in play. Incredible. Trying to kick it away there is Grace Dillon, and she's away with the afterburner. She's off to the races. Puts it on the right boot. Kicks it out towards the centre wing. This is starting to break open play. Out comes Brooke Ellie to try and meet it. Whitehorse have got the numbers here. Here's a long kick towards the centre half forward position. 2-on-2 situation. How's it going to turn out? It's turning inside out. The cavalry arrives, and Bridget Russo, she gets there. She gets knocked over. Going through is Munro, and the umpire says holding behind play, but still the momentum is going with Whitehorse. Munro gets going on the left, goes quickly towards the top of the square. It's smart footy. Going in there was Tanner, brought the ball to ground. Pressure football at the moment, locking it up is Russo, and boy, that last 30 seconds just turned the game on its head.
Yeah, well, Pete, they get it into attack, Whitehorse. They've done this for the second occasion in this term, and last time they managed to get a score. Caterino had it, and then had it knocked out of her hands, luckily, because the classic situation there where she looked up, saw no targets, hesitated, and then had the ball knocked clear, and the umpire wasn't willing to give the holding the ball decision. So it's smashed away out of defence for the Falcons, but all the numbers are with Whitehorse. Tracking it back is Amy Thompson for the Colts. She labours after it and gathers on the wing, looks to just maintain possession and give a little handball away, a smart handball to Sarah Clow, who whacks it around the wing up to half forward. The numbers are all with the Falcons, but they might be able to hold it up, the Colts, and they do at left half forward. Umpire says we'll have it and have a bounce. 55 out from the Colts attacking goal. They trail by a point, but when they kick with the wind in the last quarter, Peter Holden, you'd have to say they hold a psychological advantage at this stage of the Division 3 Grand Final.
Ball thrown up in the air. Tanner versus Damazi. Damazi won it. Good roping work there by Mills, who tried to hack it forward. Oh, a little turn inside outplay by Leah Alton is fantastic. Put it in the middle of the ground, but the foot race is on, and it's picked up by Blistering Gawley. She's run into trouble. Got the hand pass away on the deck of time to Erin Smith. Smith's hand pass was dodgy. Here came Maloney. She came through. She got all wrapped up, and I reckon that best describes how the game is at the moment. It's all tied up in the middle of the ground. 1 point the difference. Third term, Wyndhamvale lead 29-28. Up in the air. Tanner tried to slap it forward with a second tap. Picked up by Mills. Put it on the boot. Put it out in towards the half forward flank position. Oh, Hanlon's been good all day, but nearly out of her hands. Saunders, the veteran, just doesn't have the legs to go after at the moment.
The bounce, Pete.
Oh, Hanlon bounced it, picked it up, went out towards centre wing, goes to the one-on-one. Coming out there is Warland, makes a contest. Russo runs into trouble, and the umpire said too high.
Oh, very unlucky. Oh, I think she put up the don't argue arm, and that arm, it just slipped across the top and sort of got her on the bicep more than over the shoulder, but that was enough for the umpire to give the high one.
Fair dinkum, what a game of footy.
So half back, Russo up the chimney towards half forward. At the base of this pack is Morgan Khan. She had it and lost it. It's force forward for Wyndhamvale. The umpire says nothing's doing. Kira Myers was all wrapped up. So it'll be a bounce at left half forward with the Colts trailing by a point. Red time, third term on VWFLradio.com. It is the Cottons of VWFL final series and a free kick plucked out. It'll go the way of Wyndhamvale. And I think it's Slattery with the footy. It's Montgomery, is it? She has the footy. She torps it inside and Olsen marks it 40 out directly in front. Sort of an innocuous kick. And she just happened to have the arms out and it landed in the breadbasket.
Has to take her time. It's near the three-quarter time siren, you would think. So if she can kick this will be a big morale booster for them.
Olsen, an absolute star for the Falcons. Kick on its way. It's just a little short. In fact, marked in the field of play. Beautiful grab and a celebration on the defensive line as well after she took the mark for the Colts. I think it might be O'Hanlon down there again. She has been everywhere. Now it's a poor kick, short kick. She was looking for Gore. She sort of ran out of options and probably did the right thing because if the umpire had called her to go, she might have been in a bit of strife in the back pocket. But she got it away and it dribbled over the line 30 out from her defensive goal. There'll be a throw-in.
Wyndhamvale 4-5-29, Whitehorse 4-4-28. Later stages of the third term, ball back into play. Wallen went over the top of the ball, couldn't get it. In goes Desiree as well. She can't extract it. All wrapped up as the player in Augustin, and the umpire will call for the ball back. 45 metres out from the Wyndhamvale goal. They've had the majority of play in their forward line this third term, but they haven't been able to get away from the Colts. Ooh. Put it on the boot is Andrea Cameron in a dangerous spot.
Oh,
high on no, as the ball goes free, and having a snap on goal is Carla Slattery. She's got three.
There's a bit of justice. That was a headlock, Pete. Got away with it.
I know. I was looking at Saunders thinking, oh, gee, she got the whack across the noggin there, but luckily it went to Kayla Slattery. She had the goal square vacant and she kicked it from 10 metres out. A much needed breather for the Falcons. They lead by 7 points nearing three-quarter time. Yeah. Wyndhamvale 5-5-35, Whitehorse 4-4-28.
Yeah, sorry Pete. They again get the ball to that attacking zone. The Falcons high in the air. She's fantastic in the air, Kayla Slattery, but she's better on the ground. That was sharp hands, good old-fashioned crumbing work and a terrific finish. Ball back in the centre of the ground. Winning the tap is Abby Tanner for the Colts, and then she gets her own clearance as she's done all afternoon. She was claimed and then got the handball away. Russo on hands and knees as she always is. Got it out towards Andrea Cameron, who kicks up towards half forward. Desiree dispossessed for the Falcons. Falling on top of the footy is Kovarik. And the umpire says, well, that wasn't a dive on it. It was more of a stumble on it. And I'll bounce it at centre half forward, with the Falcons in attack, leading by 7 points, closing stages of the third term.
And trying to come away now and spin around is Clown. That's what she does, put it out towards the wing position on the broadcast side. Foot race, Russo could be to it first. Knocked over an opponent, Matilda Dillon on the way through. One-on-one contest out here, picked up there by Saunders moving it forward. Now a foot race is out on here on the half-forward flank position. Now half-back flank was picked up by Gore. Had to turn an opponent inside out to Khan. Khan was ridden in the ground by Olsen. Ball went out to Augustin. Pressure's gone up just a notch. Coming through is Lee Olsen, but first to it there is
she's
Abby
got wheels.
Tanner, she goes. She gets on the right boot, goes towards the middle of the ground. Going in to try and take a mark there is Nixon. Popped out of her hands. Got rid of her opponent in Harrington. Nixon away. Got the hand pass to Richardson. Richardson delivers inside the forward line. Drop mark 40 metres out from goal. Hand pass while under pressure. Falcons trying to hold on. Cameron is there. Holding, says the umpire. Too high, in fact. And that's going the way of, looks like Bridget O'Connell. In fact, number 19, Matilda Dillon, and she puts it on the boot, goes in towards the hot spot, 20 metres out from goal, came off hands, and a clearing hurry kick there by Catarino in towards the middle of the ground, but only as far as Gore.
So Gore takes the mark, terrific grab, looking to reload. The range is about 30 metres for Gore, and she uses the big range of 30, and a terrific mark in the middle of the pack. I think it might have been Tanner taking the grab. In fact, it was Munro. Amy Louise Munro done a little bit of pinch hitting in the ruck.
She'd bring down the house if she kicked it from here.
It's a long way out into the wind, although very deliberate approach on the left. Kicked a shocking footy in the end to the teeth of goal. Hit the base of the pack, but it's still 15 out. Plenty around it for Wyndhamvale. They'll lock it up. Russo's in there. And also, it might have been Andrea Cameron working overtime back there. Bounce, 10 out. And good timing in the end for the Falcons because It was 10 metres out from Whitehorse's goal, and they were trailing by 7 points. And, well, Peter Holden, you feel if they had a snuck one there, the Colts, they'd be well and truly in the box seat. But again, we come to a break, a change in play. The coaches come to their huddles.
And they claim the biggest scalp of all. They're down by just 7 points. 5-5-35 to 4-4-28. I'm going to put the hit on you, Dan Hill, as the ball goes up. Who's going to win it?
Mate, I think Wyndhamvale can hang on. But that's a very, very interesting prediction as this quarter gets underway. The final term of the Division 3 Cotton's VWFL final series. It is the granny. It is the big one. And it's a free kick early. The groans from the crowd. It goes against the Colts. There's an era of expectation around that the Colts are just going to win this one. They can't just do it on the win. They trail by 7 points. Caterino, she goes low on the left, up towards half forward. Big pack around it. Hits the base, right half forward for the Falcons. And I think it might have been Dezza at the base of that. In fact, it was Damazi. She tosses it back to the umpire and it'll be tossed up.
Ball goes up in the air again, and Emma Slattery being moved into the ruck contest, knocked out of her hands. Gray still up against the boundary line, almost a scoop throw, but manages to keep it back into play. Augustin's lurking nearby. Leah Olsen's on the bottom of that. Finding and scrapping hard for it is Sarah Clow as well. Falcons move it forward towards their hard forward flank position on the outer side of the ground.
Well, here's a
Popped
go.
out of hands, got away from Cameron to Tanner, and Tanner took it away here for the Colts. Kicked it long up the line. It gained about 60 or 70 metres, exactly the way the Colts want it. They like it when they work it wide. It's out of bounds. 70 metres out from goal, and now this will put the Falcons under pressure early on.
It's the prime movers here, Pete. It's got to be Augustin. It's got to be Nixon coming up to the contest, although she finds herself at centre half forward, and Harrington's done a good job. It's got to be Clow. It's got to be the prime movers for the Colts if they're going to win this one. Ball tossed back in. It was a short throw in, and then it's all locked up. The umpire will toss the ball up, 60 out from home. The Colts are at left half forward. They trail in the grand final by 7 points. Tanner the tap. Only as far as Maloney. Her kick was smothered. Damazi playing as a bona fide on-baller. She goes in to lay the tackle. Umpire calls for it. And Grace Dillon will toss it back to the umpire and will have a throw up in exactly the same spot.
And Tanner wins again. Almost roved her own throw there and just trying to burst her way through. I think it was Thompson. She's all wrapped up and the umpire says, I'll ask for the ball back. Stalemate what we've got here on the half-forward flank for the Colts. Ball is up in the air again. Tanner, what a fantastic leap there. Cloud got out the little sideways handball, and the umpire says too high, and it's going a free kick to the fend-off going the way of the Falcons, and ending up with Megan Maloney. And Maloney has it on the outer side. Decides to stick wide. 1, 2, 3, bites the cherry. Augustin takes the mark. Got good height there, and decides to go quickly on the right. Going long up the line. Oh, good mark taken there by Caterino, standing up at half-back flank.
Yeah, she's a good player, Caterino. As I said throughout today, O'Hanlon's opposite number, although she's called to go. Squeezes a kick away. The umpire didn't do her any favours there. Olsen burst through. Got the handball forward to Kayla Slattery, who's under the pump. Tried to work it back to Olsen. Augustin went in for the Colts. Now it's flung forward, slapped forward by Myers. The umpire said, well, it's just borderline volleyball set. I'm happy to give that a throw. So it's a free kick to the Colts. Defensive side of centre. A dubious one, but a good one for the Colts.
And they move the ball in towards the middle of the ground, cleared over a few players. It's an awkward-looking bounce. Who's going to be coming out towards it? I think it's Grace Dillon. Got bumped off the football, hit on the ground.
Oops.
There's Saunders, and she's caught straight away, ran into the ground. And the umpire says it's all locked up as Harrington gets involved as well, and they call for a ball up. Harrington on the ball on the deck gives the ball back to the umpire. 7 points the difference, 50 metres out from the Colts goal. Going up there is Tanner. She wins it, trying to get through is Cohen as well. She gets locked up. It's stalemate football. And we'll call for yet another ball up. Harrington again being involved in that contest. Ball up in the air once again. Tanner tries to move it forward. Harrington puts the body on the line. Leah Olsen has to pick it up. Got thrown off the foot by Lefo. Going in there again is Elliott. She kicks the ball out towards the half-back flank position for Wallen to run onto. She's going to get there in the foot race, but is happy to see the boundary line as she's got O'Connell on her hammer. We'll throw it in 70 metres out from the Colts goal, but they are pressing.
And that is the difference there. As we said, Pete, Wallen needs to get up onto the footy. They need to try and work the ball beyond this this stoppage area and get themselves into attack the Falcons away from danger. But they just haven't been able to get the ball out of this half.
And Kayla Salary tried to tap it forward only as far though as Mills, who got the hurry kick there and went back in board. Now the foot race is going to be on here. Saunders trying to put the body on the line.
Oops.
Oh, Cameron overran it. Dylan put the ball going up. Matilda Dylan came charging at it and it just bobbed away from her. Under pressure, tackle laid on by Doonan. Wraps her all up, trying to come through as Bridget Russo. There is Saunders, gets the hurry kick away, looking for the safety of the boundary line. It's still a long way out from it. Half back flank now for the Falcons. Half forward flank for the Colts. Left footer now, and Nixon got knocked over. Nixon had to go back again after Harrington lost it. Going in there and laying a tackle is Russo, and the umpire calls the ball up. The crowd gets vocal. Early stages of the final quarter. Wyndhamvale 5-5-35, Whitehorse 4-4-28.
You said 1,000 through the gate, Peter Holden, and you could hear every single one of them on that occasion as they're right in front of the crowd here at Coburg City Oval. Tanner won the tap, but it's bustled over the line. They gain 20 metres, do the Colts. It's at right half forward. 30 around from their attacking goal. It's tossed back in. It's a long throw in. Little left foot kick went forward from Munro to the top of the square where Molly Dillon, just after it into the opposite pocket, bundled her opponent over, but the boundary line beat them. The crowd were happy with that. Jade Doonan went flying, but the boundary line beat both of them, and it's a throw in 15 around from the attacking goal in the left forward pocket for the Colts.
Ball thrown back into play. It's Kayla Slattery had front ball. Then there's Mills locked it up there with her opponent in Augustin. And the umpire calls for the ball back.
Now, Pete, you've got to play the game, and that is the short throw inside. So the ball up is going to suit the Colts more than the boundary line. They need to keep it closer to the middle here.
Munro, but it went to the advantage of Leah Olsen, who burst through the pack, got on the right boot, went the little chip up the line, trying to run onto it there, but over it is Desiree. Has to go back in and try and get the ball again. Wallen's out there as well, and it's all locked up. And the umpire calls for a ball up. The Falcons under siege at the moment. Whitehorse trail by 7 points, but have the attacking end.
Ball tossed back up. Tanner won the tap. Little kick off the ground came from Damazi. Up towards Heath, who's in a one-on-one on the wing. She sort of just fell over that one, but the umpire was well and truly satisfied that she didn't dive on it. She was knocked off her feet. And now a bounce, attacking side of centre for the Falcons. I know it seems small, but it's a huge win for the Falcons. As Desiree gets the takeaway, running onto it, Myers. She's run into Augustin. They've both come to a grinding halt, fall on top of the footy. And there'll be a bounce, still the attacking side of the wing for the Falcons. Little kick out of the pack from Mills, up towards attacking 50. Ball hits the ground. Heath couldn't take the mark. Numbers are with the Colts. Kick into the centre of the ground is a risky one. Caterino after it. Slapped away from her at the back of the pack. Bouncing footy on the hard wicket. A chance and picked up now by Ali Brooke. Or sorry, Brooke Ali, I should say. She gets the ball and then loses just at the crucial stage. Now Russo, she couldn't come up with it. Working forward, the Colts. Kick on the left came from Munro towards the teeth of goal. It's away to the left, but it'll bounce out of play. And there'll be a throw in 3 metres around from the attacking goal. The Colts, they trail by 7 points. But Peter Holden, you well and truly feel they've got the momentum, but they need to score.
8 minutes gone in the final term. 12 minutes remaining. Can the Colts pinch one from here and it'll be game on? Ball back into play, trying to weave her way through as Molly Dillon. She was caught by Leah Olsen, and Leah Olsen will get the resulting free kick in the back pocket. She's got to kick long and wide, and that's what she's doing. She goes long towards the half-back flank position. Tanner came from behind to make the contest. The small Kayla Slattery. Going in there is Damazi as well. Can she extract it? She's rolled over. Gets a little hand pass out there. Was cute, but okay. Trying to come over the top there was Caterino. Can't quite hatch it out. Leah Olsen goes in once again with the ball as Maloney. And the umpire calls for a ball up. I think Thompson was involved in there as well for the Whitehorse Colts.
So Sarah Clare also needing to get herself involved, and she did so on that occasion. Those prime movers for the Colts. They're just getting closer and closer, but Leah Olsen, another prime mover. She's for the Falcons. She came up with that one, tossed it back to the umpire for another ball up, and then Emma Slattery won the ensuing ball up, got it clear of the 50, and then it's bounced straight back inside, and Slattery lays the tackle. Hands the ball back to the umpire, who throws it up. Slattery against Tanner. Tanner the tap, nullified each other. Busting her way through was Kayla Slattery. She got it forward. Not sure if that's the advantage of the Falcons though, as Desiree went in. She couldn't come up with it. Now the Falcons through Clough, thrown forward. Umpire wave play on, blindsided. Running her way onto the footy over there is Cohen. Very close to the boundary line. Maloney snaps it around the corner in front of Desiree. The Falcons trying to work at half back. Working overtime there is Warland. She dropped it. Umpire said you threw it. And it's a free kick to the Falcons at left half forward, 70 from home.
And this is going to be a crucial kick to see if they can try and straighten things up. This is a kick from Munro. It's long and it's high. Munro now taking the mark. That's the direction that we're heading for. They're always going to get her.
It was Nixon with a kick. The two lookalikes look exactly identical, and both left-footers.
Munro goes on looking for Matilda Dillon through her hands. Nixon there trying to kick it off the ground. She couldn't. Has to go back, and again the umpire said in danger. Hands on the ball. And that means it's a free kick going the way of the Falcons. And it was Anna Harrington that gets it. Just reminds Nixon where the mark is.
How's she going to go with the kick here?
She goes with the kick. It's long and it's high, but it's into a dangerous position.
She's marked it.
Gore's come out and taken a mark, and she's having a shot on goal. She'll be lining up, 45-degree angle, when she puts boots of ball about 38 metres out.
That's the range with the wind behind her. Needs to get some height on it.
She kicks it. It's game on. Gore on the right. Clapped it as soon as she kicked it, and it's away to the left. What did I say about Golden Point? It's a goal the difference.
Sorry, Pete.
4-5-29 Whitehorse, 5-5-35 Wyndhamvale.
Saunders comes down to take the kick out. That's a big move.
She'll do the chip kick and run it. Does the chip kick and runs it as called. Goes long. No! The tumbled kick has gone straight down the throat of Lindy Cohen. And Cohen will be having a shot on goal, 40 metres out, 45-degree angle, 11-minute mark of the final term. The kick's a shocker off the side of the boot, through a set of hands there, including that of Matilda Dillon. Ball on the ground, who's going to extract it? It's going to come away a Wyndhamvale ball. They run it. Here's the kick. They're looking for the safety of the boundary line. It's tumbling, it's close to the boundary. It's being seen over in the end by Sarah Clow. What a fantastic game of Division 3 football. We have got under 9 minutes remaining in the grand final, and Wyndhamvale are hanging on by a goal.
Ball tossed back into play, all taken out of the ruck there. Whistle went to the mouth. Augustin should have been penalised. Play goes on in the meantime. Doonan in the back pocket, kicks it to centre half back. Harrington read the bounce better. She then kicked it towards centre half back again, went straight up in the air. Going after it was Olsen. Ball held up in the breeze. Good little sharp hands there from Mills. Now they're out. A chance here for Morgan. She had it and lost it. Working on the last line. The grim defence from O'Hanlon. She's up in front of halfway. I don't think she's been past the centre today, and she managed to hold it up. It'll be a bounce in the centre square.
Unbelievable match of footy here in Division 3. The top side, the undefeated team, Wyndhamvale, are hanging on for dear life by 1 goal at the moment over the Giant Killers and Whitehorse. If you just joined us in our coverage, Whitehorse, of course, snuck into the final 4. They knocked off the third place side by 6 points. They knocked off the second place side by a point, and they find themselves a goal down against the undefeated Wyndhamvale Falcons. An incredible campaign from them. Hurry kick out of the pack towards centre half forward. Harrington is there against Nixon. Harrington going again. Got it by the jumper. Nixon with the hand pass back over the top. Gore got knocked out of her hands. Ball cried the crowd, and the umpire agrees. Holding the ball, free kick going the way of Bridget Russo.
Russo takes off, runs around a couple, and then gets on the right and kicks it straight up the chimney. Only carried about 15, coming in Saunders, marked it. Umpire paid it. Said it went 15.11 and I'm satisfied. Saunders, left half back, went short. It was a good kick. Ali marks, gets on the right. Oh, smothered ball. Little handball over the top, came from Cohen. They're working tirelessly out there to Colts. They'll get a free kick here. And it'll go the way of Sarah Clow as the crowd really get into this one, Pete.
Clow goes on the left foot towards centre half forward. Harrington versus Nixon. Nixon beat out Harrington. She took a bounce. 45 metres out from goal. Goes for the long kick. It's near Molly Dillon. The ball held up. Foot race on here at the moment. Going in there is Elliott. Over the top of it. Wyndhamvale trying to clear it. Oh, it's intercepted by Grace Dillon. She dropped it while under pressure. Ball still alive. In goes Wallen as well. Tries to get a hand pass out. She can't. 30 metres out from goal. Pressure footy. Now with it is Bliston Gawley. Umpire's blown the whistle. And there's a push in the back off the ball. And it is going the way of Augustin.
Who has a good boot, Pete.
Directly in front. 35 metres out. If she kicks it, it's all level.
She needs to take her time, but she doesn't look like she's gaining any composure. She just goes straight back.
She goes in. It's a flat barrel punt towards the top of the square. Came off hands. Will it be rushed through? Ooh, it is.
Didn't hit the behind post either.
Oh, dear. 5 points the difference. Do Wyndhamvale have to be ever so careful with this kick in from full back? Andrea Cameron is going to take it. Whitehorse 4-6-30. They trail by 5 points. Wyndhamvale 5-5-35. They find a player on in the back pocket.
And just for a bit of extra drama, Pete, there was a magpie that flew into Andrea Cameron's peripheral vision. She did well to avoid it. She kicked it into the back pocket. Now the clearing kick has been marked by Grace Dillon. Only got a 35 range kick though. She loads it up, gets all of the 35, but it's all Wyndhamvale. And taking the mark is Leah Olsen, who's thrown herself in defence in this last quarter. She has it in the right back pocket.
Jeez, hold your breath. 14 minutes gone in this final term. The umpire's blown for high, and it is a push out and going the way of the Colts. 15 minutes, 5 minutes remaining.
Wrong player's got the ball though. They've got to get it to the right player.
And 5 minutes remaining for the Colts. They're down by 5 points. Are they going for the biggest boil over yet? In the Division 3 Grand Final, 55 metres out from goal, goes for the long kick. Molly Dillon came out afterwards, came off hands. They look for the safety of the boundary line. I think it's Harper that saw it over, and we'll have a ball in 35 metres out. My goodness gracious me, everyone here on this edge of their seat at Coburg City Oval. What a dramatic finish. Ball back into play. Dillon front posse. Ball hit the ground. Coming through there as well was Damasi. Can't extract it. Ball popped out. Falcons trying to push it forward. Gets into the log jam once again. The umpire's thrown away the whistle. Dillon on the outside. Put it on the right boot. Going into space. It's an awkward looking bounce. Who's going to get towards it? Its favour is Brookelli, who gets it across there to Catarino. Catarino goes the distance. Mark taken. O'Connell slipped over.
Almost 25. Is it borderline?
She slipped over and she'll be 55 metres out from goal attacking.
And she comes up a little ginger. Gets on the left. Kicks it into the pocket. Pack around it. Goes over the back of that pack now to Marzi. Has she kicked that out of bounds on the full? No, she's kept it in play. And a great grab. I think that might have been Myers coming out to take the mark.
Where's the heart pills?
Oh, it was a telling mark. In fact, it was Emma Slattery who took the grab, and then she went to Olsen, and Olsen in no hurry at all at right half back for the Falcons.
You've got about 4 minutes remaining in this grand final. Wyndhamvale holding on for dear life. They lead by 5 points. Goes to Kayla Slattery. It's chip, chip, chip up the line and keeping it wide. That's what Wyndhamvale are doing. 5-5 leading Whitehorse 4-6.
She's gone the barrel.
And that's what she's done. She's gone to the pack on the centre wing. Coming off hands. It's bubbling around. No one can control it. In there is Myers as well. She tried to push it forward but got sat on. In there as well as Grace Dillon, and it's all locked up.
Now they've lost their structure a little bit here, Pete, because O'Hanlon, who's been sitting off the play all game, she's just been sucked up to this contest and she just needs to keep her discipline here.
As they try to clear the ball in there as Maloney can't quite hatch it out, trying to get a hurry kick away. Montgomery got ripped off the footy at the crucial moment. Umpire's going to call for another ball up.
And as I say that, Pete, O'Hanlon comes in and lays one of the most critical smothers of the grand final.
3 minutes left.
Ball tossed up. Tanner won the tap. Plenty of players around it on the centre wing. It's a 5-point lead to the Falcons. They enjoy that 5-point lead. They have led all afternoon, aside from the opening minutes of the first term when the Colts got away to a bit of a flyer. Tanner, the volleyball spike, got it out wide, opened the game up a fraction. A chance here for Koverick. She goes after it. The umpire says over the line, out of play. Throw in just on the attacking side of centre for the Colts. They trail by 5 points. They need a goal to win it. And I'm sure that would be well and truly enough with only 2.5 remaining in this final quarter.
And trying to take it out there as Plough. Her kick is hurried away. Is it a holding decision?
No, taken out of the ruck.
Yep, that's what it is. Taken out of the ruck and held. And that means it is the hurry kick away. But Damasi was going for Lee Olsen, and she's put it out of bounds on the full.
Oh no, and the ball's over the fence. They've got to try and get this back as quick as they can. Of course, no time on in these grand finals.
On centre wing, I reckon by my inkling we've got about 2 minutes remaining. So this has to be the play. Coming in for the Tanner. It was knocked out of her hands. They're trying to keep it alive here, the Falcons. Can they do so? I think this is Ruth Desera. Got balled over. Ball in the middle. Now it's with the Whitehorse. Trying to get the hell out of this Koverick. She couldn't do it. She got knocked over. Taken away there is Mills. Put it in towards the forward 50. Ball bouncing around.
Thompson.
Trying to go there is Morgan. Thompson held up there as well. Trying to come away with his O'Hanlon. She's been a rock all day. Going there is Augustin as well. She got crunched. Ball comes out here for the Falcons. They try to get it forward. Player pulled down as she tried to get a kick away. In goes O'Hanlon again, and the umpire calls for a ball up. Morgan involved in that for the Falcons. It's where Wyndhamvale wanted. We've got under 2 minutes left, and the Falcons lead by 5 points.
Tanner went up in the ruck. She knocked it out wide. They're just trying to open it up here, the Colts. They know full well how long there is left. Working Tiles in the back pocket. Umpire says free kick. Got a little high one. Cohen switches the play out wide. Over the back, the coach. She takes the telling mark. Kerry Saunders. She settles things down. She takes a few deep breaths. She almost reaches for the hammies and pulls the socks up.
reduce up the clock.
Takes an eternity. Umpire says play on. Now she tries to run around. Risky. Gets a terrible kick away. Turnover. A chance for the Colts. Now another poor kick coming back the other way. Saunders copped one in the back. The boundary line will beat them all. Well, a comedy of errors. A throw in on the centre wing.
What could you say? Munro was in space. If she had actually got it to Munro,
Just needed to fly.
Munro was gone and away as she found it to her.
Just couldn't fly the pack.
Ball thrown back into play. Brought to ground. Tight football at the moment. It's Clow that gets through, and Clow gets brought to ground.
Yes.
And the umpire pins her. Free kick going the way of Wyndhamvale, and guess who? It is Bridget Russo, our player of the day in the major semi-final.
She's in no hurry.
She is taking her sweet time in the shadows of the final siren here. Her kick is a bit of the It's over! They've held on for an undefeated season and an incredible final quarter. The Whitehorse Colts was so close to causing all three boilovers, and they have held on for the most incredible of victories. Everything in the kitchen sink was thrown at them, and Wyndhamvale are premiers and champions of Division 3, undefeated, 5-5-35, Whitehorse 4-6-30.
Well, Pete, what can you say? The Falcons, they tried to throw it away late, but the Colts, they just couldn't take the game by the scruff when they needed to. And you really have to bring it back to probably 4 or 5 minutes remaining when, as we tipped at three-quarter time, it was all the prime movers getting involved just to chain the ball up to the back flank. I think it was both Slattery's getting involved as well as Andrea Cameron. They got the ball clear, they got it past the centre, and that was enough because the ball then never came back. It never breached, apart from when Kerry Saunders almost turned it over and almost threw it away. But they just did enough, and that was the crucial play in the end. There was enough done on that outer side. They managed to kill the ball, chew up those last 3 minutes, and they win the grand final in sensational fashion by 5 points.
And how about the defence as well from Brooke Alley? Brooke Alley was holding up there as well. So was Catarino and Harrington as well, which we think was carrying that quad injury. 2 or 3 situations in the corridor. She virtually just dived on the football to force the ball up as well. What an incredible finish. And how could you feel for Wyndhamvale? You know, there was literally one shot on goal earlier. They were almost a kick away from having the perfect season completely brought undone. For Whitehorse, you got to feel for them. They did everything to the textbook. They did just about everything right. 1 or 2 kicks went askew, as you'd expect in the final quarter when the legs get weary. They almost pulled off the perfect final series plan.
Right now we'll get the show on the road. On behalf of the Victorian Women's Football League, we'd like to thank everyone for coming along today and participating in what was a very, very good game. We'd especially like to thank the umpires who have done an outstanding job not only today but for the whole year. So thank you very much to the umpires. And I'll ask Dale Robinson to come forward and announce the best on ground winner to number 10 from Wyndhamvale, Leah Osborne. Now, could I have the coach of Whitehorse, Michael Dillon, up to say a few words, please? It's no good being pretty if you've got an ugly heart. I think that's what we missed in our warm-up. Wyndhamvale, fantastic, undefeated for the week. It's a really great game, fantastic work. Couldn't pick up all your good players, pick up too many. Well done, congratulations, enjoy these days. To our girls, couldn't be prouder, fair dinkum. To come from where you've come from, proving is amazing. The heart you've shown, determination, proving is good. And the coach of Wyndhamvale, Kerry Saunders, to say a few words.
Firstly, congratulations to Whitehorse. It was been very impressive to easy round here with your company and point out past for everybody. So congratulations, well done. You've got a long way to go a long way. Secondly, congratulations to my team. It's been a lot of hard work. It's been easy. Even though we won undefeated, it was a tough year. Congratulations, it was really hard all the way.
Now we'll get Zoe and Jamie from Cottons to assist us with the presentation. We'll go through the leadership medals by number. Number 2, Nicole Elliott. Number 3, Jeff Heath. Number 8, Alex Mills. Number 9, Megan Maloney. Number 10, Leah Olsen. Number 11, Jodie Teixeira. Number 12, Anna Harrington. Number 15, Bridget Russo. Number 7, Michaela Moreland. Number 17, Rebecca Montgomery. Number 19, Kerry Saunders. 21, Kira Myers. 22, Alicia Morgan. 23, Kayla Slattery. 24, Emma Slattery. 25, Jacinta Damasi. 28, Brooke Eli. Number 30, Kayla Cantorino. 31, Jade Noonan. 33, Emma Hartman. 34, Hayley Gossow. Number 35, Kim Tran. We invite Captain Andrea Cameron to receive her medal and be presented with the Premiership Cup.